Hello and welcome to the AMCP podcast series, Listen Up, as we take a deep dive into the challenges, trends, and opportunities in managed care pharmacy. Follow the show's social hashtag at AMCP Listen Up, and to learn more about AMCP, visit amcp.org. I'm your host, Fred Goldstein. On today's show, my guests are Ruby Singh, Senior Vice President of Education and Publications at AMCP, and Brittany Henry, Director of Education Programs at AMCP. Welcome, Ruby and Brittany.
Hi, Fred. Thank you so much for having us today.
Hi, Fred. Nice to talk to you.
Fantastic. We're going to discuss a topic that's near and dear to my heart, education, managed care, fundamentals of managed care. So perhaps, Ruby, you could start. Give us a little bit about a background on the fundamentals program.
Sure, Fred. Thank you. You're asking about one of my favorite projects and programs at AMCP. This is a popular training program that we launched in 2014 as a live program at Nexus, actually in 2014. And we launched it as an online training program based off of the feedback from that live event in 2016 on AMCP Learn, which is our online learning platform. And since the launch of that program, we've had about 1,800 learners take the program. The program itself is it's a multi-module program, really meant to be introductory, basic concepts in managed care pharmacy practice. So we're really proud of the program and obviously feel that people have gotten a lot out of it, given that we have almost 1,800 learners who have taken it since we started it. We're really looking forward to the new version that will be coming out and hopefully getting more learners to take it and really introducing them to the basics of managed care pharmacy.
As you mentioned, you also have a lot of different programs up there for people to learn about as pharmacy professionals.
Thank you, Fred. Yes. AMCP Learn is an online learning platform, and we have over 90 educational programs that are available. And certainly some of them are based off of our live national meetings. And we typically look at the evaluations and attendance on site and pull those through online. And they're usually accredited and available for our members for free. And then we also recently completed a summit on prescription digital therapeutics. And that's the newest program that has gone up in the last few weeks. And so that'll be available actually starting today. And so we're working on really just making sure that there's timely things available to our members and that they can do it 24/7 online.
That's really excellent to have all that available for your members. And let's talk a little bit more about this fundamentals of managed care pharmacy. Understand it's now edition 3. So Brittany, what's new in this edition?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. And there's so much. I was trying to think of everything as Ruby was talking. And there's a lot of things. So let's see if I can build up the momentum here. So first, we have a new look and new branding, as well as a new voice of fundamentals. And if you've been listening to these podcasts with Fred, you may recognize the voice because it is Fred. So we've been able to work with him with this project and program. So it's been nice to add that little touch to it. So thank you for that, Fred. We've also been able to include more interactivity. So instead of just a pre and post test at the beginning and the end of each module, we also have questions interspersed throughout. Being education, Ruby and I work a lot with adult learners, and we've learned that adult learners have an attention span of only 8 to 10 minutes. So this interactivity spaced throughout is really going to help our learners stay focused and then be able to pull out some of those key concepts. In the past, Ruby said that we had only 12 modules, but for this edition, we've decided to add a new module on health economics and outcomes research, HEOR. So now the program will consist of 13 modules, offering around 10 hours of CE credit. And lastly, I think this is one of the most exciting parts, besides adding a new module, is that speaking of credit, not only are we accrediting this for pharmacists, but we're also accrediting it for pharmacy technicians. We've heard a lot from our managed care pharmacy technicians, and we're excited to be able to offer this resource for them to have credit as well.
So, given this accreditation, who is this really designed for, Ruby? Who should be taking this course? What sectors of the pharmacy business should be looking at this?
Sure. So as sort of mentioned, it's the basics. It's really to talk about the flow of prescriptions and money in healthcare. What is a formulary? How is that developed? What's a drug monograph? and, a lot of the basic concepts that really are foundational in terms of managed care practice. And so I kind of say anyone can take it. It's kind of interesting here at AMCP, all of our staff take it as an onboarding to employment at AMCP, which I think is fascinating. And obviously not everyone has a pharmacy background. So I think it just really helps them understand the terminology and sort of what our members do. But we also recognize that student pharmacists get a lot of value out of this because a lot of managed care concepts are not always germane in the pharmacy curriculum. So we have seen schools of pharmacy use this as a part of their elective, their managed care pharmacy electives. And also a lot of the student chapters request the program. But we also find that pharmacists who are mid-career love the program. They are interested in maybe changing to a managed care career. And so having some of these basic concepts or making sure they understand what managed care pharmacy is really helpful to them. And then, of course, we see that this is a training program. So we find that managed care residency programs are using it for their residents. We're finding that corporate organizations like pharma are using it to train their teams that are working with managed care organizations. So it's across the board been really a varied audience, to be honest. And I think, as Brittany mentioned, we also recognize that there's a lot of pharmacy technicians working in managed care pharmacy. And so I think having that expanded accreditation is really going to be valuable to them as well. So I think we have a really good opportunity to train.
And Ruby, I was going to add about staff having to take it because I love that everyone gets to do it. I know Ruby and I are both pharmacists by training, but it's always fun to have our fellow colleagues be able to take it too, who may not have that pharmacy background. So just that, knowing that our colleagues are able to take that and those with not as much pharmacy knowledge are able to gain something from it just shows how valuable it is.
Yeah, and I would add, coming from a hospital background and then also running a health plan for years and sitting on the committee that did this work, it's really fascinating how broad this is and how much of that spectrum it really covers to provide a really solid knowledge base about managed care pharmacy and how it works and what are the inner pieces to think about. When will this new module be available, Brittany?
Fred, I like how you laughed a little bit. This has been a big project, a big undertaking. So we are actually working on tying up the final pieces now, and we'll be launching the third edition come mid-July. Of course, we'll be making sure everyone knows because we certainly don't want anyone to miss this. Even if you've taken fundamentals in the past, it is a little different. It has more to offer, more there. Just remember it is available online on our learning platform, AMCP Learn, and it is an online self-paced learning activity.
So, Brittany, what's the cost of the program?
That is a good question. Of course, you'll need to know that. So we have a professional version offering continuing education credit for pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, and that is available for $3.99 for AMCP members and $4.99 for non-members. Then we have a student version as well, which has no credit associated with it. Same programming, just you don't get that credit. And it is $1.99 for AMCP members and $2.49 for non-members. We've also, especially over the years, and I anticipate it to grow, we have bundle prices. So if there's an organization or school or whatever company is interested in doing a bulk purchase, we can certainly work with you on financing and pricing that as well. If you have any questions about that, you can email us at amcplearn@amcp.org.
So you mentioned also, Ruby, this new one with digital therapeutics. That's obviously a really hot topic. You said that's available now for individuals. Are there other areas you're looking at in the future as you expand this service out?
Yeah, I think one of the areas that we're really hoping to dive into in the course of the next year and a half is really looking at what are the key areas of managed care pharmacy that our members and, our vested stakeholders really need. And so training is definitely an area that we hope to expand in the coming year and offering both online and live training. I think it's really important. And there are a few things that we are looking at right now, but I would tell you that I think we're going to be doing a little bit more in terms of member input and surveys and things like that to make sure we're really meeting their needs.
Excellent. And you mentioned, Brittany, this is available at AMCP Learn, and that's up at the amcp.org website to find that?
Yep, amcplearn.org.
Got it. Well, thank you both for joining us and discussing the new program.
Well, thank you, Fred.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for joining us today. If you like this show, you can find all our episodes at amcp.org/podcast, on our show page at healthcarenowradio.com, or on your favorite listening platform by searching Healthcare Now Radio. You can follow our show's social hashtag at AMCPListenUp, and don't forget to share, like, and follow AMCP.org on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Fred Goldstein for AMCP. Until next time.